Hey makeup friends, it is time to talk about this week's new releases, but I did just want to give fair warning, there will most definitely be the F-bomb in this video because it's part of the name of one of the products that we're going to talk about. I just want to put that up front in case you have littles running around or if you're just not a fan of swearing in general. So with that said, let's get into this. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you are new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel, we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. On my eyes today, I have the new palette from Uma. This is the Black Magic palette, and on my lips, I have one of the lip glosses from Pat McGrath in the shade Divine Rose. That is it by way of introduction. Let's move into the new products, and I'm going to do this as I typically do, ranking them from least interesting to me to most interesting. And starting off, we've got Jeff. So, further proof that he is an insipid tryhard, Jeff is releasing his fuck-proof mascara. Yes, you heard that. Fuck-proof mascara. Like, at this point, I don't find anything about the name fuck-proof. I don't find anything about the promo pics interesting, titillating, or exciting. At this point, I honestly just find it to be predictable and boring. I mean, let's be honest, coming from somebody who named a shade of their lip gloss Urethra, you're gonna have to try harder to shock me. It says it's a sweat-proof, weatherproof, everything-proof formula that lengthens and volumizes lashing. There's a Freudian slip. Lashes. And then it says to remove this product, gently pull the tubes off using warm water. So how resistant to water is it? Like, here's the thing, like, I'm not out to kink shame anybody, but if you're having such crazy sex that, like, we're worried about tearing up, go for waterproof. There's a million of them out there. Like, this doesn't serve any specific purpose, and the name is clearly just designed to, like, be like, tee-hee-hee, look what I said. That's exactly what it's meant to be, and it falls flat. I'm just so bored. I just don't understand what the intention is. Does Jeff think that we're all gonna start doing the wave in celebration of his sex life? Because honestly, I don't care. If you're having fantastic sex, I'm happy for you. So am I. But I don't need a parade in my honor for that. I just think that this is completely ridiculous and I'm not interested. Next up on the list of items that I'm just not interested in is this abomination of a palette from Tarte/Sugar Rush. The layout, I don't even care about the colors. The colors frankly look like once they're applied, they're all gonna look the same. The layout, it makes my eye twitch. I don't like it. I really like linear things. I don't even like circular layouts. I just like nice straight lines. And if it could follow a gradient of some sort, so much the better. Call me boring, but it is what it is. I just don't care about this. I just genuinely don't. Triangular pans, first of all, if you do get a ton of use out of this palette, they're gonna be a pain in the ass to, like, get into the corners of and then repress them. Like, they're just gonna be a pain in the ass. But, like, just the look of it just makes me twitch. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to think that the whole Sugar Rush line under the Tarte umbrella is designed for teens. I could be wrong, but that was my impression just based on the whole aesthetic of the line, especially when they first launched. But honestly, if you're gonna buy your teen a palette, like an entry-level palette, and you wanna, like, go through Tarte, say, go for, like, the Tartelette in Bloom. It's such an easy-to-use, functional palette. Frankly, I think it's a staple in my collection, and I think you'd get a ton more use out of it than you would out of this palette. And if you are new to the makeup scene, at least, again, I could be projecting, but having that linear layout where you have a row of cool tone, a row of neutral, and a row of warmer tone shades, it's just so much easier to navigate than this hodgepodge of nonsense. Moving on, we're going to talk about MAC. So they are launching a liquid version of their Love Me lipstick range. It's described as a new special lip glaze that supplies up to 12 hours of hydration while still packing a punch with pigment. There's a ton of shades going to be available. They're currently available in the Asian markets, but they will be launching worldwide soon. Don't have a date. Now, I'm not necessarily interested in this. I'm not necessarily disinterested. I don't dislike it. I just don't care. I'm not in the market for it, so I don't really care. But I wanted to take this opportunity to complain because that's what we do for the first few products in these new release things. I complain. I don't like the way MAC does their swatch pictures. There, I said it. I don't know what it is, but I have a really hard time actually figuring out what the color of the shades are. It's like they've ratcheted up the saturation somehow and everything just has like this really strong yellow tinge to it. That could just be me, but also the lighting. So there's always like this gleam on the swatches, and so I really have a hard time figuring out exactly what's going on. So when I look at like this picture here, especially on the lightest skin tone, those shades look indecipherable to me. Like they all look the exact same. On the deeper skin tone, I can see variations in the shades, but you look at that bottom one, and with the exception of the color on the far left, they all look virtually the same to me. And I suspect that they're not, but for whatever reason, MAC just has not figured out how to do swatch pictures that actually represent the color that the product is. And I just have a really hard time looking at them. Also, their website kind of sucks. Like, MAC, you need to up your game a little bit. You truly do. So, I don't know. I'm sure there's a color in there for somebody, but especially with that last one, like, it just looks a little redundant to me. So, I don't know. It's not that exciting to me. There's no shades in here that I'm particularly hyped about. Even when they launched this collection as, like, the bullet lipsticks, I never picked any of them up because I just didn't really care. There was no, like, unique shade in there that really drew me in. So, I'm just not interested in it, but I'm more complaining about the quality of their pictures than the quality of the product. So we'll move on. All right, I tend not to include skincare products in these videos simply because I try to narrow it down to just 12 items, and there's usually a ton of makeup products, so I don't really want to veer off. But this one I am curious about, but I'm not going to be the first to buy it. We'll put it that way. So this is the new scent from Sol de Janeiro. This is the, I don't know how to pronounce it, Bom Dia Bright Cream. I have no idea. So this is their newest body cream. It has warm, rich notes of black amber plum, vanilla woods, and jasmine bloom. So it sounds intriguing. Plum, vanilla, yes please. I would take that all day long. However, I still have not forgiven them for messing up the coconut scented one. How do you mess up coconut? I genuinely am mystified. But it smelled like rancid popcorn / milk vomit. Like, it was atrocious. And I was so excited for that one. I was so excited. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's actually called. It comes in like the light teal kind of colored packaging. Regardless, I was very excited about that. Bought it, tried it on, nearly retched, returned it immediately. So I want to hear how this one plays out because they haven't quite nailed the, like, let's capture the scent in a passable kind of way. So while I love the idea of plum, I'm afraid it might smell like bum. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about Dominique Cosmetics. So she's coming out with the Now or Never collection, inspired by strong women who take risks, follow their dreams, and make history. Sounds fantastic. And then you read the shade names, and I'm like, really? Really Pretty is the name of one of them. Boss Babe is another. Powerful Bitch. Okay, so it looks pretty. I love pinks and purples, as you can see. I don't need it, as you can see. So I think it looks really pretty, but it just doesn't serve any purpose to me. So therefore, I'm not interested. The lip glosses look really pretty, but need them. I've never tried any of the Dominique Cosmetics lip glosses, so I have no idea what the formula is like. I do have a couple of her palettes, and I do like her eyeshadow quality. And these are colors that I love, but like I genuinely don't need them. They're literally all set out here in the Uma palette that I just picked up. So I am going to give this one a hard pass. I think the naming of the shades could have been a little bit better, but that's just kind of a side note. Regardless, I'm just not interested. But if you are, I guess I can give you some information on it. It is going to be available now by the time you see this video. The palette is $26. The lip glosses are $17 each, or you can get the palette and the lip glosses together for $54. So let's move on to a palette that I am more interested in, and this one is from Give Me Glow. It's the Pastel Dreams palette, which is going to retail for $54 and will be available in April. I think it looks really pretty. Like, that's like a perfect Easter palette and perfect for spring release. Like, I think it's really, really pretty. My only hesitation is that I know me and I don't tend to gravitate towards pastels. I like the look of them. I don't like the look of them on me. I don't know why, I just don't. So while I really do like the colors individually, I don't think I would get a lot of use out of this palette because I just tend not to use all pastel shades. So unless I was going to be using this to like fill gaps with other palettes or just use them as individual shades, I don't see myself reaching for this an awful lot. So with the 54 US price point, which puts it up closer to say 65 Canadian, plus the shipping is going to be probably in the 15 US range. So we're looking, this is gonna cost me about $80. I don't really want to shell out $80 for a palette I know I'm not going to get a ton of use out of. So while I do think it's beautiful, while I've had really good experiences with Give Me Glow shadows in the past, I can appreciate this one from afar, but I really don't need to include it in my own collection. Now the next two products that we're going to talk about kind of look virtually the same, to be honest, but I have ranked one slightly higher than the other. So first up are new bronzers from Colored Rain. It's a matte formula to give you a perfect airbrushed finish. It comes in 6 shades and it's going to retail for $16 each with 8.5 grams of product. They are available as of the time you're seeing this video. They're cruelty-free, vegan, gluten-free, and paraben-free. And then Dior is also releasing matte bronzers. So this is the Forever Natural Bronze. It's going to retail, why do I have British prices? God damn. Okay, so it's going to retail for $51? No, 51.77 pounds. What the hell is that? 51.77 Great British pounds to, call it US dollars. Jesus, $71 US for a bronzer? Whoo! And what would that be in Canadian then? 71.80 US dollars. That, my friends, is a $90 Canadian bronzer. I think the fuck not. So switch my ranking around because that's insane. I'm not spending $90 on a bronzer ever. Ever. So I gave this one the edge because I like the packaging better, but I like $16 better than whatever the American equivalent was for Dior, 70 something. Holy crap, that's intense. It does say that it's on sale for significantly less, but I don't know when the sale runs for or who the sale is through because it doesn't say. I would check the Dior website, I guess, if you're interested. I don't know if it's on sale or not, but $90 for a bronzer is not happening. I will tell you that right now. So I'm not even in the market for a bronzer, but if I was, despite how I initially ranked them, now that I know the prices, I would go for Colored Rain over Dior, despite the fact that I like the Dior packaging better. Jesus, $90. Okay, I can't get over that. Let's move on then to nail polish. Again, an item that I typically don't include in these videos, but these colors just like grabbed my soul and were like, hey, look at me, talk about me, pay some attention to me. So I will. So these are from Holo Taco, 4 new shades. These are cream polishes. They are $11 each or $40 for the bundle. You've got Banana Hacks, Duct Tape Gray, Green Screen, and Royalty Blue, which is a reformulated shade. Let me tell you, I love gray nail polish, like love gray nail polish. For the longest time, my absolute favorite shade was Wet Cement from Sally Hansen. I cannot find it anywhere at all anymore. There is a replacement shade, which I have, hold, and it is called Heavy Metal. And it's very, very similar, but not quite the same. And it makes me sad because I loved Wet Cement so much. I think I went through like 2 or 3 bottles of it. But this gray is like the perfect gray. Like no purple undertone in it, no blue, just a straight on gray. Freaking love that. I also love the cobalt blue. I love the green. I don't know about the yellow so much. I tend not to do the yellow thing, but that gray, you caught my eye. You did. You caught my eye. I'm very interested. I hate paying the shipping for Holo Taco. I do have some of her polishes. I haven't bought any in a very long time since like the initial release. But I might for the gray and the blue. I just might. Now, despite the fact that I said I'm not in the market for bronzer, and I'm not, I'm intrigued by this one. So this is the new Summer Solstice collection from Nars. It's going to include a palette, a cheek duo, and bronzing cream. And that lightest shade, the Laguna one on the left, I want it. I don't need it, but I want it. It is $38 US. As well, the brush is also $38 US. That's much better than $90 Canadian, I'll tell you that right now. I don't need this. I don't. I'm still working on my Chanel one, and I will be working on it for the next 2.5 years at the rate it goes, but it just, there's something about the gold lid. It just aesthetically is drawing me in, as is the cheek duo. The packaging on the cheek duo and the palette, beautiful. And as much as I love Nars shadows, and I do, I just am not intrigued by this palette at all. The palette does not do it for me. The cheek duo, a little bit more so. The cream bronzer, come to mama. I cannot explain why I want it so much, but I really truly do. I don't think I'll buy it, but if it comes to Shoppers Drug Mart, I will definitely trade in some points for that. Absolutely. So here's hoping, because for whatever reason, I just am very intrigued by it. I'm also very intrigued by the brush, to be honest. And this is the brush that I typically use with them. It's the contour brush from Real Techniques. Totally serviceable. This one looks like it's a little bit bigger, so I think it's going to make the blending out job a little bit easier than this one does, but it's good in a pinch. It hasn't let me down. Also, side note, Real Techniques brushes work horses. They do not fall apart. They don't shed, they don't splay. They are an awesome investment, and they're really not that much of an investment to begin with, but that's just neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm very interested in the bronzer and the brush. I'm really hoping that will come to Shoppers Drug Mart, like really hoping. The rest of them I could live without. Okay. Again, I tend not to include these kind of products, but here we are. This is the new lip treatment from Laneige. It's a pearlescent daily lip treatment that coats lips in nourishing hydration, visibly smooths lip wrinkles, and boosts the look of lip fullness. And here's where they get me. It's pina colada scented. Yes, please. Yes, please. It's formulated with coconut oil to deeply moisturize and peptide and adenosine to help. Oh my God. Okay, so it has a bunch of shit that does what it says it's going to do. Okay, awesome. Let me tell you as well, though, the packaging, I think it's so smart that the little applicator doohickey thing actually has a home inside the lid. Love that, because I have had their, like the lip sleeping mask. I've had a couple of them from Laneige, and they come with the little like scrapey outy guy, but it's completely loose, and then you lose it, or it gets toddlered. And that drives me crazy. But this, the packaging is so intelligent. And it's going to retail for $25 US, which might sound like a lot for a lip balm, but having the experience that I've had with Laneige products, like it lasts forever. So I'm not too fussy about the price on that. I'm totally down with that. It's going to be available March 23rd at Sephora, and I can see myself picking this up. I can absolutely see myself picking this up. It's not a foregone conclusion, but pina colada scented, intelligent packaging, plus it's a lip treatment that I use literally every day. There's not much for me to say no to. All right, and then that's going to bring us to our last product for today, and it gets the top spot because I've already ordered it. It's coming to us from Pat McGrath, and this is the new Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder in yellow. So the under eye powder, I believe, has already existed, but it didn't have a yellow shade. It now does, and that is the color that I picked up. It was, I believe, $41 Canadian on the website. It says here $30 US. And it's basically to perfect your under eye with flawless, even illumination. It's a weightless powder with a silky texture that sweeps on effortlessly to blur fine lines and imperfections. Has light reflecting properties to deliver a luminous, lifted effect with an incandescent, soft focus finish. It all sounds fantastic. So if you are new to my channel, you might not necessarily be able to tell with all the makeup and the lights on, but I do have very dark circles. It's just a chronic thing. It doesn't matter how much I sleep, they're just always dark. My kids have it. Sorry guys, those are the genetics that you got for me. That's what I brought to the table. So anything that helps to neutralize the redness that's under there and the purple tones, anything that helps to brighten that up and add coverage, I am intrigued by. So this powder in particular, I'm really interested in trying it. I don't have any like banana type setting powders in my collection at this point, so I'm very curious about this one. So as soon as I saw that it was available, I hopped online and ordered it. So I will share my feedback once I've had an opportunity to actually try it out. It hasn't even arrived yet, so I have no idea. All right. On that note, guys, those are the new releases that I wanted to talk about this week. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What are you interested in? What are you taking a hard pass at? All of that good stuff. But for now, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.